Okay, coding Newton's method using the Casio ClassPad. Well, this is a way of finding the solution of f of x, a way of finding the solution of x, I should say, when f of x equals to 0, starting from initial estimate, or initial guess, up until the nth step. So you keep doing it until you see the numbers are converging, and that's when you stop. All right, let's have a look at how it works using the Casio ClassPad. All right, so this is the formula. F x equals to this is your initial guess minus f of x over the derivative of f of x. All right, let's find out. Go to E activity. All right, and the drop down, the parabola shape graph, and select the alpha square root. All right, this time we need the Newton's method, so we're just gonna call it Newton. Newton, yep. All right, put the cursor up there. So we're gonna define our f of x. All right, and to define it, you're just gonna go to the keyboard, math 3, define f of x. This time I'm just gonna call it x cubed. And press execute. And we're going to define again g of x, this time the derivative of f of x. That's to be the derivative of f of x. So I'm just going to do this, f of x, yep, and press execute, and that's defined as well too. So now we need to give initial guess and the formula. That is, all right, our initial guess, let's say 1 a. So okay, that's defined as well too. So we're gonna have to put the equation. So you're gonna put this equation where x equals to initial guess, which is a. We're just gonna call it a minus. We're gonna call it a minus the fraction template, f of a over g of a, and we're going to store that as to be a, and we press execute again. All right, here we go. Though that's actually our initial guess. So if you keep pressing execute, and you can, if you want to make it a decimal, obviously click that, and you just press execute and keeps and you see that the number actually is sort of converging now. So like 1.32. So let's see if we keep going, what happens here. So the number is actually not changing. All right, and now the very same thing could be done. So we can actually just, let's actually make sure that, let's close this window, and we're gonna go to, now this time here, we're gonna go to spreadsheet. So we can also put the same thing again on the spreadsheet and see what happens, because we already defined. So this time we just want to do number of iterations and see what happens with the different iterations. All right. Okay. So now let's actually do Newton's method again. All right. I'm just going to call this time maybe 1. So I'm just going to call IT, which is basically iterations. So put the cursor up there. We're just going to call it iterations. Iterations. So there. All right. Now, so that one, the first guess. So this time we're just going to call it x of n. Xn. So this is going to be fxn. All right, and we're just going to do the same thing again. So gxn, so exactly what we did before. So we could so gxn, and we put the cursor, oops, to put a little bit up, sideways. So this time we're just going to say xn minus. So now again we need to put this formula, remember that. And now we're just going to say, just put the bracket first, and just going to say ex. All right, put another bracket up there, put the square root, sorry, the division sign I should say. Okay. All right, and that's it. So now the next thing we need to do is we need to, let's say we want to do a couple of iterations. Let's say maybe 15 or 18, whatever. It doesn't really matter how many iterations we do. So let's do some I'm just gonna copy this. I'm just gonna say the first one maybe 0, 1. Can I actually fill it? Let's do this. Maybe 12 13 iterations. So edit, fill, range. Will it work? Let's see. Oops, just use those zeros. Okay, let me just type it in. Alright, I'm just gonna type that one in. Alright, okay, here we go. That's 8, that's 9, that's 10, and that's gonna be 11, that's 12, that's 13, 15. Let's do 15 iteration. Alright, now with the initial guess, the first guess, we're just gonna put it 1. Okay, the subsequent guesses. So now here, this we're just gonna put the equal sign up there, and we're going to say f because we already defined, and we're just gonna say f of cell B2. So we're just gonna put the bracket. So there we go. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing again. So G. So we're gonna put the equal sign first, G, and this time B2. So remember, B2 is the initial guess. So B2. Put a bracket again. Okay. Oops. Press execute. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing again here. Alright, our initial guess. So I'm just gonna make this one a little bit bigger. Let's see if I could. Okay. Alright, let me just move this one sideways. Alright, so that I can see everything that's in there. Alright, now we're gonna put our initial guess was we just went to, we put the equal sign. Our initial guess was B2 minus, and we're gonna put the bracket F B2. Alright, and we just put the division sign. So this time G B2. Alright, okay, now we got that. So the next thing we need to do is our initial guess actually changes. So this one here, so that was the initial guess. So the subsequent guesses will be the value of this x here, because the x, remember, the x actually does change. So this x here, that becomes our x2, the second guess. Alright, and then we're just gonna do this one. We're just gonna put the equal sign. So remember, it's in cell E. So this is cell E, or that column E, and this is E2. So we're going to put this one here, the equal sign, and the E2. E2, and we press enter, and we keep going. So this one here, and so now we're just going to select the two, press edit. So actually select the whole cell up there, up to where it was. Alright, I'm just going to select edit, file, range, and I press OK, and it does fill fire. Okay, now what happens? Okay, now this time, let me just put this one in, equal sign. That was E2. Alright, let's do it again. Fill. Yep, that's better. That's E4. Yeah, that's better, because you want that one to be E2, E3, E4, and so on. So let's do it again. If that works. Okay, now we're gonna do this. Fill. That's better. Okay, that's better. So it's actually filling it up. Okay, that's good. So let's fill it up again, up to our final iterations. We're just going to say and fill, range, press OK. So beauty. So that's filled. All right. Now the next thing we need to do again. So we're going to do the same thing again here. We're just going to select the whole lot. So remember that we're using these values to get an output. All right. Let's select all these up to the last cell if that's possible. But with the handheld, probably you have to do it twice, or maybe you have to resize your screen. Probably resize the screen, much easier. Resize, much easier. So that gives you a bigger sort of screen, yeah. And edit, fill, range, and press OK. There we go. It's actually will it field. So that's V2. All right, now we need to also alter this. Okay, now. All right, so let's feed this one again as well too. All right, feed. Okay, now if this one changes, everything else will change. All right, let's see what happens here now. So we're gonna have to change this one as well. Remember that this values, the input for this is actually this cell here. All right, now let's see what happens now. All right, fill. So, okay, here we go. So all other cells have changed now, and it's actually converging. So these two columns, all right, the xn and the last column, which is the E column, are sort of becoming the same number. Yeah, they're actually converging. So you see the number is actually not changing. Therefore, our the number that we're after is actually 1.32, and that's the root we're after. So when I save now this one, you can just close this. That's all saved. So now remember, we already defined in here. So this is just to show you a visualization of the spreadsheet. So now if you click that, and that pops up. So if you change the equation, so any of the equation in the exam or the SAC asking you to use the Newton's method, you just have to change this. You can resize the whole lot, and you just have to change that. All right, now let's save. File, save, Newton's method this time. So we just save it in the main. Newton's method this time. Newton's method. All right, save, and that's it. It's a spreadsheet, and now it should be fine. And you can see as a spreadsheet, that's how it looks like. You can resize the whole window and gives you the whole lot. And now you can just close it. If you don't need the spreadsheet, you can click the alpha, and there we go. You can just see it. All right, hope that's clear. Bye for now.